All right. Hey, my name is Ria Waller, and you are enrolled in CIT 93 JavaScript at Fresno City College. Now, this class is 100% online. In addition, and this is the part I want you to register in your understanding, it is a 9-week, 4-unit coding class. So I'll be honest with you, when I first found out, because I normally teach this class in the 18-week regular semester length, when I first found out it was 18 weeks, I wasn't that excited. I've taught it once in the 9-week mode a couple years back, and I know many students struggled. And when I first found out, wanted to have it changed to 18 weeks, and I actually did try. And then there was a moment when I realized that I think I could set it up in such a way that students could successfully navigate this class. But I don't know you individually, but I've seen enough students go through coding classes that I hope you and I can navigate this. Actually, I do more than hope. I know we can. It will really depend on how much time and focus you can give it. But learning JavaScript couldn't be more important for any kind of coding job path, wherever that is, whether you're a web developer, whether you're just here because you want to gain a skill that's marketable. And why do I say that, right? Well, if I look at RedMonk here, actually JavaScript, like there's 3 programming languages that are the most popular: JavaScript, Java, which is different, by the way. So if you've heard either of those and you thought they were the same, I totally understand why, but they're not, right? So, and Python. And I'm actually really excited because I'm actually teaching, and I suspect I may see several of you in the last 9 of the fall 2021 semester for my Python class. So I'm excited that I get to teach 2 of the most popular programming languages available right now. And that's just, it's so fun to learn, to translate through code your ideas to create something. So I'm excited. I love teaching JavaScript, honestly. That kind of goes back to my other, why I love JavaScript. So, and here's the deal. I'm actually at this point in the real world when I'm recording this. We're actually at the end of June coming into July. And it's early for me to release the course. And there's a reason I do. Mostly is that because this is a compressed course, I have what's called a week 0 for this class. And that is really setting up your local environment, your local dev environment. And I have had students navigate this. This is usually their week 1, but I had to move it into week 0, meaning you have to do this before you get into the actual content. And so I just yesterday created or re-recorded all the content for that setup because there's been some changes in a really key piece of what we'll be using, and that's GitHub. So let me just give you that understanding now that we're sitting here, right? So we are going to use, because the other thing about the way I teach is that most of what you're going to be doing is actually hands-on, actually almost all of it. So we use a system that tracks your coding changes, and it is on your local system, and it's called Git. And then what we do is you push those changes out to GitHub so that you can share them with me and with everyone in the class. So so that takes some setup on your local system to get that set up. And I've had students successfully navigate this, but again, I'm moving it up in the schedule because of the compressedness of this. Now, the question might be, Rio, do I have to get started with this class before the start of the fall 2021 semester? And the answer is absolutely not. I just want you to know that you can get this week 0 done whenever, but in order for you to get started on the actual course week 1, you have to get through week 0. I'll show you in a minute what that actually looks like. So part of what you're going to have to do at the end of this video I'll show you is actually, if you don't already have a GitHub, right? So the cloud-based hosting system, if you don't have that username, you'll need to create it. And if you have it, you just provide it to me. And then I'm going to invite you into the what I have set up as our organization on GitHub. Okay. But before I jump too far ahead, let me go back here. Okay. So, and move me for a second out of the way. So this is the idea of what I was talking about. So this is the visual setup, right? So what I have is I have this set up so that, and this video is the video you're watching right now. And then here's the welcome message. I've talked about Git and GitHub. And the other thing I just want you to know is that I run a Discord server. Now, if you've never heard of a Discord server, it is basically a way for us, for you and I, and you and other students to interact real time to get support, right? Now, what this means is that, you may be working at hours I'm not, but there may be other students that are working during those hours. So Discord has been really helpful to support students because the thing is I don't know your schedule. I know mine, right? It's like I'm a pretty early morning person. Like I just got home from the gym a little while ago. And so I typically do a bulk of my work after I work out, but I'm still available probably, 6 or 7 at night. I'll talk more about that later. But Discord is just a wonderful way for us to handle support for us. So here's the deal. Here's a link for you to sign up. And I'm going to show you in here this part, right? So what you will do is you'll have to join the FCC web dev server. It'll drop you into the start here. And then what you will have to do is you'll ask me, you'll actually type in here, Rio, please add me to whatever. And because these are private, it might be hard to see, but they have little locks on them. They say limited. That's because I add students based on their enrollment into the channel. So that only the students in this course, in this current semester's course, will have a chance to interact. Now, what this also means, though, which is great, is there's a pretty great community of students that have taken my classes before. So you can always ask questions of any of them as well. But just know that when you join here, I'll just to repeat this, when you join, you can get a little information on what it is. Once you join, then you'll be into the start here. And if not, just look for it, because there's also a code of conduct, which I recommend you checking out, because there is an agreed upon behavior that we all have in here. And then what you will do is ask to be added to the CIT93, or just say the JavaScript section, I will know. Okay. So before we get into the what's next, I want to just tell you that the other really important thing students want to know right now, which is what is the course materials. I stopped using traditional textbook several years ago, and part of the reason is cost, and part of the reason is the quality of the material. Quite frankly, because coding, programming languages, programming knowledge, best practices change so quickly. I really wanted something that was more done by professionals in the field, because as an instructor, I code, I love to create things, but I'm not a professional developer on a day-to-day basis. So I lean into the idea of us having course materials, what used to be considered a textbook, from a professional developer. And in this case, I use a platform called Udemy. So Udemy, the reason I'm talking about it right now is I want you, and the course I'll show you in a minute, but if I just click over into Udemy here, let's take me out for a second. If you haven't already, I want you to sign up just for an account, okay? And the reason is that this course, without even signing up as of today, and this is a thing about Udemy that's a little bit frustrating, is that their prices will change. But as of the day, this course is pretty well priced, okay? And now you might wonder, well, how can I find the link to this? I'll show you. It's in the syllabus in a minute. But it's basically, if you search for JavaScript Bootcamp Andrew Mead, this course has been updated as of just the end of 2020, so it's still very relevant. You can try it out for 7 days, but we will do probably 70% of this course during our 9 weeks together. Okay. So let me show you where you can find this link. Here, I'm just going to click on the syllabus. I like to do this so I can always come back. So our syllabus, and we'll talk more about this in week 1. Here's what you need: the welcome message. All my meetings and office hours are going to be in Zoom. But if you scroll down, here is the link to the course that I was talking about on Udemy. So just to complete what I was saying, the suggestion here is to go ahead and get your Udemy account and let them market to you. I think you can get this course for as low as $9.99. $17 is not bad as well. Notice on my syllabus, if you did that, I listed it as 15 because again, it varies. And the longer you have an account, and they will market to you, like probably many of you may not see this by the 4th because we're today's Wednesday before the 4th, but regardless, they run like summer sales. They'll run before the start of the semester sales. So it's here. Let me reiterate. It's reasonably priced, it's up to date, and it's done by a professional. Now, how will we use the course? You will see in week 1, but basically part of the week, there'll be 2 due dates a week. You'll actually code along, and then you will have a hands-on assignment that we will do together. Okay? So that's how I use this. Now, let's see. Have I covered everything I wanted to? I've covered Discord, Git, and GitHub. I've welcomed you. Now, what to do next is actually go to GitHub. Okay, let me get out of the way here. I'm actually signed in, so let me sign out. Okay, so what you want to do is sign up or sign in. If you don't know your username, if you don't have a username, sign up. Do make sure you select the free account. GitHub, there is a paid part of GitHub, but for our needs, you don't need the paid part. You'll be totally fine with a free account. You just need to set up your username. So as an example, where to find it, because you give it a email when you sign up, but then if you come up here, you'll see like this is my username. So once you get that, all you have to do is hit start assignment. You come down here, you give me that GitHub username. Okay, this is mine. And then here's what happens once you hit submit, then I will get a notification. Now, what's kind of cool here, and I'm just going to leave this for a second. I'm going to leave it, right? So in Canvas, what happens here is that you get a check mark because, again, my course is set up to reinforce the idea of working through things sequentially. So you have to go through each of these, mark them as done, and I do recommend watching all this. There has been some changes in the way that Git and how you authenticate, how you log in to GitHub has changed, and I've covered that here, and just trying to give you the most information to help you navigate this. But you're basically going to join our organization once I invite you, and I cover that. You're going to create your repos, you're going to install some stuff on your system, you're going to create a folder and clone, which basically means copy, and then you're going to learn the GitHub workflow, which is basically the idea. And I'm going to show you visually what this means is that, and I'm just opening the editor that I will show you, or that I will use, is that you'll end up creating two, what will just look like in your experience possibly. Now this is the IDE I recommend, although if you have one, you don't have to use it. You can use your own, but you'll end up creating 2 folders that represent 2 repos out on GitHub. And then we will use these repos in order for you to write code and then push it out to GitHub. Okay, so that's how we will use this. And by the way, let me just show you the final part of this. Like here is my 93 organization. There's my pub for public, and there's my beginning. And now, so if I change something on my local system, then I push that code out to GitHub. Okay, so you are going to learn more of this as we go through. Okay, let me go back to here. Why I love JavaScript. So I'm glad you're here. I hope this gives you at least what you need to do next. Again, you get to choose when you start this class. You don't have to look at it until the start of the semester. It's really up to you. I'm going to send out an email probably this week to all enrolled students so they can see this content, ask me questions, set up their environments. But if you wait until the Monday of the semester, totally cool. Just know that in addition to setting up your local environment, that first day of the semester, we actually have some work due. Okay. And if you'll be doing both, that's cool too. It's really about you and what works for you and your schedule. But I just like to do it a little early, given, last thing I'm going to say, I promise, the compressed nature of this course. Thanks again for joining. I look forward to connecting with you. Have a good one.